Now on Coast TV News.
Democrats demand win in a party line vote the controversial bill that nullifies Sussex County's decision on the Millsboro substation is approved in the Delaware Senate.
Nature Plan, the protection of undeveloped land, is back in front of Fenwick Island officials later today.
EMS in emergency.
That was not meant to be an ambulance station.
The fundraiser taking place today to help first responders in Sussex County.
A warm and drier Wednesday for Delmarva with comfortable humidity levels. Warm to hot the rest of the week. And the weekend, unfortunately, looking a bit unsettled with some rain. Forecast details coming up.
This is Coast TV News Today.
And we are in our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. It is Wednesday, June 11th, 2025.
Yeah, we reached the middle part of the week. Still time to nail down your Father's Day plans.
Well, I have all the gifts, so I'm good.
Care to spill the tea on that?
No. Because I think my dad might be watching.
Okay.
Hello, Dad. But yes, do you have any plans?
I have plans.
You do?
Be out of town plans, but I do have plans.
Very exciting. My dad likes to do lawn work. It's like his therapy.
Well, he is more than welcome to make a trip to my yard and help out.
What's the going price? But I don't know, Bob, if Father's Day is going to be a good day for my dad to do his lawn work, walk around the lawn. It's what he enjoys. Simple guy.
Yeah, well, that's New Jersey, right? So the weather might be a little different there. I don't think it's going to be so great here. But, I need my lawn cut as well. So maybe I'll get in touch with your dad and we can figure something out. Visibility-wise, we've got some fog ahead of a cold front, 2 miles in fog in Salisbury. It looks like it's expanding a little bit too. Ocean City, 5 miles. It's pretty good elsewhere. There is a cold front back to the west, so it's going to take a little while for this fog to get out of here. Once the front comes through, then we're in good shape. Otherwise, we are looking at some clouds along with the fog at the present time. Nothing in the way of rain. That has moved offshore, but here's the cold front now making its way into the eastern shore. And once it sweeps through, we'll get rid of the fog, but I think the fog is here for another hour or so. And then behind this front, really refreshing air, lower humidity, lots of sunshine as high pressure builds in today. Temperatures still on the muggy side and mild, mid to upper 60s, even 70 in Ocean City right now. And the wind's starting to come in out of the west-northwest. They'll be picking up and then eventually scouring out that fog that we'll see early this morning from Delmar over to Ocean City. Otherwise, warming through the 70s. Lots of sunshine today, lower humidity into the afternoon. Warm inland, low to mid 80s, but comfortable, and 70s and 80s at the beaches, and a beautiful evening on the way. And a nice ferry ride up to Cape May, pretty smooth with light winds out of the north and northwest. Maybe a little haze early on, otherwise sunshine and temperatures warming through the 70s by 2 p.m. in the lower 80s. Just a beautiful afternoon on the way.
Thank you, Bob. Our top story this hour, a controversial bill has cleared a hurdle in Delaware's General Assembly. We're talking about Senate Bill 159. It passed the Senate along party line votes, all 15 Democrats voting for it, 5 Republicans voted against it, 1 GOP Senator Gerald Hawker was absent. Now, what this bill does, it would overturn Sussex County's denial of a permit for alternative energy company U.S. Wind to build an electric substation near Millsboro, part of that wind farm project. The legislation now heads to the Delaware House for consideration.
Later today, the Delaware House of Representatives is scheduled to convene in Dover. If today is like any other day this year, District 20 Democrat Stella Parker Selby will again fail to show up at Legislative Hall. Parker Selby, who represents roughly 23,000 registered voters in Lewis, Milton, and Harbison, has missed every single House vote this year. That's a total of 102 votes. Sources confirmed to Coast TV that Parker Selby had a stroke this winter. Her office has yet to return our calls for comment. And this is now going to bring us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know what should happen to Representative Stella Parker Selby's seat.
Yeah, we've seen some changes from the last time we looked at the poll. More people now voting for that she should resign at 58%. Also, a good number are saying wait for her return. House should remove her 15%, and just a few chiming in at governor should get involved. If you have not voted yet, you can still do so at coasttvnews.com or our mobile app. In the but wait, there's more category. There was action on a number of bills in the General Assembly on Tuesday, including 19 pieces of legislation voted on in the House of Representatives. And some of those include emergency planning, child care licensing, and school-based health centers.
New this morning, help could soon be on the way for Delaware families struggling with rising energy costs. Lawmakers passed a bill that would make gas and electric bills more affordable for low-income households. House Substitute 2 for House Bill 116 would allow the Delaware Public Service Commission to approve lower utility rates for families that qualify for programs like the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program. If approved, the delivery portion of gas and electric bills could be reduced by up to 20%. The bill now heads to the Senate.
Today in Georgetown, a carnival is set to kick off, and this will benefit Georgetown EMS. You might recall that this comes as a recently released financial report, detailed findings that showed American Legion Georgetown EMS is one of the most financially strained providers in Sussex County. To help raise funds, a carnival is running through Saturday, June 14th. The time for Wednesday to Friday, 6 to 10 p.m., and then on Saturday you can visit 3 to 10 p.m. Officials say the current space for the EMS is just not enough.
We're operating out of a garage that was not meant to be an ambulance station. And we're just coming up with ways for fundraisers.
Parking for the event available at the surrounding streets except on Swan and Alford Streets. That's according to the agency. And to view our coverage of that financial report of Sussex County's first responders, you can visit our app or it's on CoastTV.com.
Happening today, BB Healthcare is opening its doors to the community for an open house at the new Long Neck Health Center. The event kicks off a ribbon cutting at 3 p.m. followed by tours. Organizers say the center will soon welcome 4 new physician residents, allowing for around 20,000 appointments per year. Services will include men's and pediatric care, mental health support, dermatology, and more.
We're expecting an update on Fenwick Island's work on a nature preserve. It's one of the few pieces of undeveloped land left in the town. Town's environmental committee scheduled to go over this at their morning meeting. It was back in April that environmental committee member Deborah Cowell asked town council to pay nearly $2,000 for a landscape plan and rendering. The hope here is to have a dedication ceremony at the preserve this fall. Today's meeting takes place at 9 a.m. New overnight, as more protests pop up across the country, President Trump defending his moves to send Marines and National Guard to L.A. while threatening more force.
This as lawmakers on Capitol Hill are seizing on politics of it all and weighing into the fray. NBC's Chris Pallone shows us the differing efforts between both federal and local government to de-escalate the situation.
The streets of downtown Los Angeles largely quiet overnight after the city's mayor instituted a mandatory curfew. Followed another day of protests against widespread federal immigration raids. California Governor Gavin Newsom condemned the violent confrontations between protesters and police, which started Friday.
I want to be clear about this. If you incite violence or destroy our communities, you're going to be held to account.
But Newsom once again accused President Trump of making the situation worse. The president sending thousands of National Guard troops and hundreds of Marines to L.A. against the wishes of state and local leaders. Newsom now suing to send them home.
He again chose escalation. He chose more force. He chose theatrics over public safety. We do not want our streets militarized by our own armed forces, not in LA, not in California, not anywhere.
Speaking to soldiers in North Carolina, President Trump defended the deployments.
If we didn't do this, Los Angeles would burn. It would be burning to the ground right now, just like the houses burned to the ground just a few months ago.
On Capitol Hill, Democrats pressed Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth on the price tag for the National Guard deployment.
Could the Secretary please address the budget? Thank you.
You asked about the situation in Los Angeles, and we believe ICE agents should be allowed to be safe in doing their operations.
The Pentagon revealing it will cost roughly $134 million. And it appears the Trump administration will soon target other cities.
Should people expect to see similar operations in the rest of the country?
Yeah.
And will similar protests see similar responses?
Chris Pallone, NBC News, Washington.
We're just getting started in this hour of Coast TV News today.
And coming up, proclamation during Pride by Delaware state leaders and advocates say this year's celebration is especially meaningful.
Also, pets over capacity. We'll tell you what the Brandywine Valley SPCA says contributed to making the month of May the highest intake this year.
And Torch Run today. Where in Sussex County this torch will visit? All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
Just about 6:12 on this Wednesday morning, seeing a smoky sunshine on the FH Cam in Cambridge. You're not seeing fog, but we have some smoke aloft, making for a pretty sunrise and sunset today. And we do have the fog around Salisbury, 3 miles here, and a pretty good area of some potentially dense fog there. And some of that haze and fog extends to the coast. So next couple of hours, foggy, and then it'll improve. With temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, the winds starting to come in out of the northwest as a cold front is slowly heading our way, and we're looking at, well, mainly clear skies, areas of fog. There's the front. That'll swing through the next couple of hours, bringing in much drier air and a beautiful day. Beautiful day to break out the lawnmower and cut the grass, both today, tomorrow, and Friday. Looking good with that. Make sure you stay hydrated with water. It's going to get hot, and then back to fair conditions Saturday as some shower and storm chances increase at that time.
Are you hinting at anything there, Bob? All right. Moving on, the 39th annual Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics Delaware kicks off today. It unites nearly 800 troopers from across the state. We do have some images of that event last year. Delaware State Police say the event spans 3 days and multiple legs. Troopers will carry the torch honoring athletes with intellectual disabilities. One of today's key stops is the Rehoboth Beach Bandstand at 7 p.m.
Drivers in Sussex County, be prepared for some overnight delays on Route 24 near Hollyville Road in Millsboro. DelDOT says lane closures will begin shortly from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. starting tonight and continuing from June 12th, the 15th through the 19th. Work is a part of a temporary widening project to connect Route 24 to the new Millsboro bypass.
Looking ahead in Salisbury, drivers can expect a temporary closure on the Naylor Mill Road Bridge. It's next Tuesday, June 17th. The bridge will close to drivers and pedestrians from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
China's trade negotiator says the U.S. and China have agreed on a trade framework. Officials for both sides will now take that proposal back to their leaders for approval. This deal comes after the latest round of talks Monday and Tuesday in London. The major sticking points have been China's control over so-called rare earth materials and its access to semiconductor technology originating from the United States.
General Motors plans to invest $4 billion into 3 U.S. plants to boost production of gas and electric vehicles. GM's plan reflects the rush by manufacturers to invest in the United States, which was a stated goal of President Trump when implementing tariffs. GM's CEO, Mary Barra, previously said that the 25% tariff on cars and car parts would cost the company between $4 to $5 billion this year.
Some wildfire smoke aloft, giving us a pretty sunrise on the Tyndall's Casual Furniture Cam in Laurel. Not too foggy here, more fog around Salisbury, so take it slow the next couple of hours. Otherwise, cold front sweeps the humidity out. Beautiful conditions into this afternoon. Low humidity, and then warm to hot the rest of the week, and a little muggier, and then unfortunately a little wet as we head into the weekend for Dad on Father's Day. Your forecast details coming up in 2 minutes.
Time is 6:17, and we're getting a live look at the sun rising over the Roosevelt Inlet. Check this out, folks. That's just a great shot there. And Bob, we are expecting, I don't know, it's a great day. It's going to be a great day.
Yes.
Phineas and Ferb, going to be a great day.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful, Matt. Aside from the smoky skies, we are looking at much drier conditions today and very comfortable with a high of 84. Tomorrow, flirting with the first 90-degree reading of the year. I'm going 89, but some places, some bank thermometers, I'm sure, will be reading 90, maybe your home weather station too. 86 Friday. It does cool down into the weekend as rain and shower chances increase. 82, and unfortunately 76 on Sunday for Dad on Father's Day. Looking kind of cloudy and maybe some showers then. Looking at some fog right now around Salisbury, 3 miles there, and some of that fog extends to the coast into Ocean City. Elsewhere, it's just hazy from Georgetown to the eastern shore right now, and this fog's still hanging on for another hour or two, and then a cold front will scour it out as we go through the morning hours. 65 in Millsboro now, 69 in Lewis, 65 in the fog in Salisbury, and 70 in Ocean City. As the winds are light, but the tendency is out of the west-northwest. We like to see that this time of year because that indicates drier air building in, and it'll be a gradual process as the cold front is slowly heading our way. We're still seeing muggy conditions over the top of us now, but there's the front near Annapolis. It has moved through D.C., and it's headed our way, and once it moves through this morning, it will bring us lower humidity and much nicer weather. In fact, we see that nice weather stretching from New England into the Midwest, and that means, well, quiet weather the next couple of days, but building high pressure both at the surface and aloft. So that means increasing humidity and increasing warmth as well. Once again, near 90 as we head into tomorrow. And we'll see that fog pretty much out of here by about 8 a.m. on Futurecast. Otherwise, 70s with lower humidity as we go through the day by noon. Lower 80s inland, 70s at the beaches. Some 80s showing up there. So a beautiful day at the coast. 80 Rehoboth, 83 in Lewis with 84 in Delmar and Millsboro, and very comfortable into the afternoon with lower humidity and very pleasant into the evening hours if you're out and about. And through the overnight, also very pleasant. Maybe a little bit of fog tomorrow morning. Temperatures starting out in the 60s and maybe some clouds in the morning, and then temperatures skyrocket to close to 90 inland areas as we go into the afternoon. Lots of upper 80s, as you can see, with 70s and 80s at the coast, and still pretty warm as we go into tomorrow evening with increasing clouds. Could see a stray storm on Friday. Then Saturday, as a front comes through, increasing showers and storms. Looks like those continue into Sunday as well, with clouds and easterly flow, cooler conditions. So you're going to be dodging the raindrops with Dad, I think, as we go into your Sunday. Then it looks like that rain lingers into Sunday night and maybe Monday as well. So setting up for a wet period of time again, right in time for the weekend, unfortunately. Comfortable conditions today, but then more muggy to humid conditions as we go through Friday, and then drying out into early next week. Paul, they have a 7-day forecast. 84 today, 89 Thursday, mid-80s Friday, maybe a stray storm, but a better chance of showers and storms Saturday. 82, have a plan B this weekend. Won't be a washout, but we'll have the rain. Sunday, cooler, 76 and 77 with lingering rain into Monday.
Thank you, Bob. Happening now, Chincoteague is getting a head start on mosquito control. The town says crews will be in the area this morning. The mosquito control department says that spraying will be ending at 8 o'clock. Officials say these efforts will be island-wide.
A recent surge in stray and neglected animals has pushed the Brandywine Valley SPCA's Dover campus beyond its limits. With kennels full, dozens of dogs are now being housed in the lobby. They're waiting for their chance at a new home. The shelter is calling on the community to help by opening their hearts and homes through fostering or adopting.
I'm really hoping that we can grow our foster program. That's really what we need to do. If we could have, 1 out of every 5 people in Dover want to foster, that would be amazing. We wouldn't have this overflow problem.
In May alone, the shelter took in nearly 80 dogs. 63% were strays. 32% were seized from cruelty or neglect cases, making it the highest intake this year.
And more to come this morning on CoastTV News Today. Proclamation during Pride. We'll tell you what message this year's celebration sends amid ongoing political challenges. Don't go anywhere.
Looking forward to this. The Ocean City Air Show takes place later this week. Get ready, though, for traffic, street closures, limited parking. The show runs from June 14th to the 15th, and this year it'll feature the U.S. Navy Blue Angels, the F-16 Viper demo team, and more.
Delaware marked Pride Month this week with a flag-raising ceremony at Legislative Hall. During the event, Governor Meyer presented a proclamation officially recognizing June 2025 as Pride Month across the state. Advocates and state leaders say this year's celebration is especially meaningful as LGBTQ+ communities continue to face growing challenges from Washington and across the country. They say flying the Pride flag at the Capitol sends a strong message of visibility, inclusion, and support.
Raising this flag on this property today and this proclamation is symbolic of a new way of thinking about all of our Delaware neighbors and making sure that everyone is included.
State leaders say this is the first time the Pride flag has been hung outside of Legislative Hall.
And the state is one step closer to protecting marriage equality in the Constitution. This week, the state Senate passed the first leg of a constitutional amendment that would guarantee marriage as a fundamental right. It's regardless of gender, race, or other protected categories. Senate Bill 100 is sponsored by Russ Huxtable, the House version by Claire Snyder Hall. It would ensure all legal marriages are treated equally under Delaware law. The bill now moves to the House. There is no governor's signature required for this.
And we have a programming change to make you aware of. On June 13th, the U.S. Open will air from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. Then Wheel of Fortune begins at 7 p.m. NBC Nightly News will follow at 7:30. There will be no CoastTV News at 5 or 6 this day. And Bob has said a couple times this morning, a gorgeous day, beautiful beach day. We have not heard him say those great words in a while.
It's been a little while, Bob. You
Yes.
know, son, this could be a great day to hit the surf.
Good.
I know it's been some kind of weather hazard the last few days. I know, but finally today we do see beautiful conditions at the beaches. So sunscreen, make sure you have the water, stay hydrated. Lots of sunshine, especially this afternoon for Chincoteague and Assateague. Mid-70s, rip current threat low, but swim with a buddy and really be careful out there. Swim in guarded beaches. High UV index, in fact, very high. Upper 70s, Fenwick Island today, mid to upper 70s, Ocean City. On the Bayside today, mid 80s, close to 90 in Cambridge tomorrow. 86 Friday, a slight chance of storms, and then dry and warm for Crisfield the next couple of days. Maybe some storms for you on Friday. Then, unfortunately, everybody gets in on showers and storms into the weekend. I know, not the best timing, but that looks like the case. Much more on your forecast coming up in the next half hour.
After the break on Coast TV News today, Carnival collects for EMS. We'll tell you what Georgetown EMS hopes to purchase with proceeds from a fundraiser that starts today.
Also, utility bill benefits, how a new piece of legislation could help some Delaware families in lowering their gas and electric costs.
And Project Win, the first step in overturning a Sussex County decision, is now complete. Coast TV News today. We'll be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
Partisan power play. Democrats in the Delaware State Senate approve a bill that scales back Sussex County's authority on the controversial wind farm project.
Downtown tensions, what occurred overnight in Los Angeles, as we are now in the 6th day of unrest over deportation efforts of illegal migrants.
EMS in emergency, the fundraiser taking place today to help first responders in Sussex County.
A warm and drier Wednesday for Delmarva with comfortable humidity levels. Warm to hot the rest of the week. And the weekend, unfortunately, looking a bit unsettled with some rain. Forecast details coming up.
This is Coast TV News Today.
June 11th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
Time is 6:30. Could be a good beach day,
Yeah.
good lawn day, good pool day.
Just good day to be outside.
That's what we're looking
Especially
at.
after yesterday when Bob was talking about fog and rain. It did get better yesterday
It did in the afternoon, but that morning was
Yes.
just a wild ride. A little bit of everything.
Yes.
Fog, rain, Bob.
And sunny, so wear your sunscreen.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. Of course, anytime. I'm always here.
Oh boy. Matt needs to do a sunscreen commercial one of these days. All right, visibility wise, we're looking at 3 miles in fog right now in Salisbury, kind of the last of the moisture before the cold front comes through. That extends back towards the coast. Good visibility from Cambridge to Dover and Georgetown, but you'll notice at the sunrise that sun was kind of orange red. That's because of smoke aloft. So we're dealing with some of that smoke and haze as we go through time, but we do watch a cold front that is now moving through the I-95 corridor, and we still have a few clouds over the top of us, and look at that, it's starting to make its move through Delmarva as we speak. So the fog and the haze should start to clear out here in the next half hour to hour, and behind this we're looking at a northwesterly flow and high pressure and much more comfortable air building in through the day, drier air, so it'll be warm, but it'll be tolerable and a beautiful day on the way. Mid to upper 60s out the door, still a little on the muggy side, but the humidity will start to come down with the winds coming in out of the northwest, and we'll see that fog and haze diminishing as we go through the 7 a.m. hour. Otherwise, a sunny day and temperatures in the low 80s by noon, mid 80s inland, even some lower 80s from Lewis to Rehoboth, and a beautiful beach day with 70s for you at the coast. So gorgeous conditions out there. And DriveCast, I gave it the green light, but still some pockets of haze and fog, otherwise drying out as we go through the morning hours, and good commuting weather as well as we go into the evening hours, warm and comfortable conditions.
Our top story this morning, a controversial bill has cleared a hurdle in Delaware's General Assembly. We're talking about Senate Bill 159. It passed by Senate along party lines, all 15 Democrats voting for it. 5 Republicans voted against it. One GOP Senator, Gerald Hawker, was absent. The bill would overturn Sussex County's denial of a permit for alternative energy company U.S. Wind to build an electric substation near Millsboro. The legislation now heads to the Delaware House for consideration.
Later today, the Delaware House of Representatives is scheduled to convene in Dover, and if today is like all the other days this year, District 20 Democrat Stell Parker Selby will again fail to show up at Legislative Hall. Parker Selby, who represents roughly 23,000 registered voters, Lewis, Milton, Harbison areas, has missed every single House vote this year. That's 102 votes. Sources confirmed to Coast TV that Parker Selby had a stroke this winter. Her office is yet to return our calls for comment.
New this morning, help could soon be on the way for Delaware families struggling with rising energy costs. Lawmakers passed a bill that would make gas and electric bills more affordable for low-income households. House Substitute 2 for House Bill 116 would allow the Delaware Public Service Commission to approve lower utility rates for families that qualify for programs like LIHEAP. If approved, the delivery portion of gas and electric bills could be reduced by up to 20%. That bill now heads to the Senate.
Today in Georgetown, a carnival is set to kick off to benefit Georgetown EMS. Now, you might recall this comes as a recently released financial report detailed findings that show American Legion Georgetown EMS is one of the most financially strained providers in Sussex County. To help raise funds, a carnival happening today through Saturday, June 14th. Today to Friday, it's 6 to 10 p.m. each night, and then on Saturday, you can visit 3 to 10 p.m.
Happening today, BV Healthcare is opening its doors to the community for an open house at the new Long Neck Health Center. The event kicks off with a ribbon cutting at 3 p.m., followed by tours. Organizers say the center will soon welcome 4 new physician residents, allowing for around 20,000 appointments per year. Services will include men's and pediatric care, mental health support, dermatology, and more.
New York, Chicago, Boston, Denver, and of course Los Angeles. Those are a few of the cities where demonstrators protesting deportation attempts of illegal immigrants, and a number of those protests becoming violent.
President Trump says he wants to, quote, restore law and order, and police say they made mass arrests in LA. But as Amy Kiley shows us, many state and local officials claim almost all of the protesters are following the law.
Thousands are taking to the streets across the country to protest immigration and customs enforcement. The epicenter is Los Angeles. City officials say the vast majority of demonstrators there are following the law.
When these peaceful rallies end and the protesters head home, another element moves in.
Officials say more than 20 LA businesses have been looted, and a small part of the city had a curfew last night.
I would appeal to the president to stop the ICE raids so that we can have stability in our city.
National Guard members are in LA against the governor's wishes. A U.S. official says hundreds of Marines the president mobilized have been briefed on rules for use of force on American soil.
We do not want our streets militarized by our own armed forces, not in LA, not in California, not anywhere.
Other demonstrations have been in Washington, Boston, Atlanta, Denver, Milwaukee, San Francisco, New York, Chicago, and more. This video shows a car cutting through a crowd of protesters in the Windy City. The White House says undocumented immigrants broke the law by entering the U.S. illegally. Demonstrators say ICE shouldn't go after those who are otherwise law-abiding.
They've taken 4 or 5 students from where I work. These are all of our children, and we need to take care of them and protect them and their families.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Developing news across the world, at least 11 people were killed in a school shooting on Tuesday in Austrian city of Graz, with multiple other injuries. Police say they recovered 2 guns that were used by the shooter, adding that there was only 1 suspect. Police say the suspected shooter is among the dead and later identified the suspect as a 21-year-old man from Graz, adding that he appeared to have died by suicide.
We have a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, Tough Turtle will show you the progress of this little guy after being rescued off of Assateague Island.
Also, All-Star Baseball in Delaware. We have the seniors that stood out in the annual Blue Gold game.
We salute Bob Schneider, a distinguished veteran of the U.S. Army whose valor and expertise were demonstrated both in the air and on the terrain of Vietnam and Japan from 1967 to 1971. Specializing in Morse code, Mr. Schneider was instrumental in intercepting and deciphering enemy transmissions, thus furnishing critical intelligence on enemy troop movements and communication channels.
Spicer Brothers and Coast TV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a Coast TV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
It is exactly 6:40 on our Wednesday morning. Cold front has moved through much of Delmarva. Now a northwest wind on the gutter helmet camera should start to scour out some of this haze and fog that we're seeing around Salisbury. Still 3 miles there, but this fog will be dissipating here in the next hour or so with good visibility as we go through time. Temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, 70 in Ocean City, Millsboro 65, as is Gumboro, and the wind starting to pick up out of the northwest, and eventually we will see drier air building in as this front does build through, and that front is dropping to the southeast, and drier high pressure building in for today. Beautiful day to break out the golf clubs, and we're looking at gorgeous conditions, excellent conditions this afternoon. Very comfortable, sunny and warm in 84. Congratulations to Michael Parnell from Milford, Delaware, on winning a brand new umbrella from Coast TV, and Paul Davis.
A young sea turtle rescued off Assateague Island is getting a closer return to the ocean. The loggerhead named Pegasus was found floating and lethargic last year. She's been in long-term rehab ever since, but has been struggling to swim and dive. Now she's made progress and has been moved to the New York Marine Rescue Center to continue recovering. Crews hope the extra space will help her build strength and get ready for release back into the wild.
Happening today, if you live in Lewis, you may notice low water pressure or discolored water. Lewis Board of Public Works is conducting hydrant flow testing in the Old Town, White's Pond, and Chestnut Street areas to clear your water. Run it on cold for about 10 to 15 minutes. Avoid doing laundry during this time too, because that will prevent staining.
New this morning, Ocean City is reminding locals and visitors of its scooter rules as temperatures heat up. The town says no electric scooters are allowed on the boardwalk. Officials urge people to avoid disaster by obeying traffic signals, ride in sync with the direction of traffic, yield to walkers, and stay off of sidewalks.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
The best seniors in Delaware took the baseball field one final time last night. It was the annual Bob Colborn Blue Gold All-Star Game. Let's get into the action. At Frawley Stadium, where Team Gold features plenty of familiar faces from Delmarva, taking on a primarily Northern Delaware Team Blue. Top of the fifth, Team Blue up to bat, and Dom Liguori sends a rocket to deep left field, and only the bullpen can catch it. A two-run shot gives Team Blue an early lead. Later in the game, all tied at 2. Here's Liguori again, ripping it down the line. 2 more runs come home, and it's a 4-2 lead. Top of the fifth, 5-4 Team Blue, but Woodbridge's Austin Griffith hits it to deep right, and it brings in the game-tying run for Team Gold. Later in the inning, Hermes Rodriguez from Polytech gets one on the hands and bloops it into left field. Team Gold takes a 1-run lead. To the bottom of the 8th we go. Team Gold up 8-5, but Preston Boyd changes that with a 2 RBI double to make it a 1-run game. This game would get closer in a game full of lead changes. The 2025 Blue Gold All-Star Game ends in a 9-9 tie. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day, everyone.
And here's what's coming up tonight on DSN. At 8:30, Bennett takes on Parkside in boys lacrosse. Then it's the final score at 10:30. On the DSN Plus app, along with that lacrosse game, you get at 3 the girls' Blue Gold soccer game. Right after that at 5, it's the boys' Blue Gold soccer game. We do have a developing situation in Delaware high school sports. A bill passed in the state Senate on Tuesday. It's attempting to determine if private schools have an advantage in athletic competition. It directs the sports governing body, the DIAA, to review 5 years of data on state championships and make policy recommendations. A report is due to the General Assembly in April of 2026. That bill is now under review in the State House.
And here's what you can expect this afternoon today on Coast Life at 4.
Halfway through the week here along coastal Delmarva, and we've got more Coast Life to get you through it. Let's see what's coming up today on the show. We're talking some bicycle safety in Sussex County, especially as the summer season kicks off. You definitely want to be prepared and be safe out there. We're also going to do our pet of the week a little bit early, another fur baby to introduce you to in case you're wanting to take one home and welcome them into your home. And of course, we've got some music to jam out to down the street at Mid-South Audio. All of that fun and more is coming up today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you there.
We're seeing hazy sunshine right now over Delaware Bay on the Tunnel and Razor Cam. A little hazy because of smoke aloft, and this morning any kind of fog will dissipate. Cold front coming through, lots of sunshine, comfortable, beautiful as we go into the afternoon. Warm to hot the rest of the weekend, a little muggier. Weekend looking a bit unwet, unfortunately. I'll have your forecast details in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Time is now 6:47, and we are taking a live look outside at Ocean View this morning. And Bob, we have another beautiful day. Well, not another, because yesterday afternoon was much better than the morning. But we have a beautiful day, but a little bit of smoke you were talking about you're seeing on your radar there.
That's right, and we're seeing those hazy sunrises out there with some beautiful colors. That's due to that smoke, Elisa, that we're seeing aloft. And as we go through the morning hours on the legend here, moderate to, at times, high levels of smoke. But these are in the upper layers of the atmosphere where the jets fly. So we're not really looking at health problems at the surface, as we'll be looking at more of this smoke, kind of hit and miss as we go through the day. Probably a beautiful sunset this evening with some of that smoke aloft. And then it looks like we get a little break Thursday morning, and then maybe a little more smoke as we go into Thursday afternoon. We're also seeing some fog and haze at the surface, 3 miles in Salisbury, but I think this will quickly clear out as the cold front has now moved through. That'll scour out that fog and humidity as well. Mid to upper 60s right now. Beautiful conditions, even 70 Ocean City, 69 in Lewis, Millsboro at 65. Winds beginning to pick up out of the northwest now, and we'll start to see that drier air building in with lots of sunshine for today as that cold front has now made its way through Delmarva. So on the other side of this front, we're looking at much drier air. It'll be warm, but really beautiful today with high pressure, clear skies all the way from New England back through the Central Plains. So this will be our weather for the next couple of days, as high pressure both at the surface and aloft will give us beautiful weather, comfortable today, but then increasing humidity and temperatures close to 90 as we go into tomorrow. So that looks like the hot day on the way. Any kind of haze disappears this morning. Here's Futurecast mid-morning. Mid-70s, lower 80s by noon, 70s and 80s at the coast this afternoon. Looking gorgeous there at the beaches. 85 Salisbury, 84 in Millsboro this afternoon. Very comfortable and really nice as we go into this evening if you're out for a walk or just out and about. Through the overnight, we could see maybe a little bit of fog once again by Thursday morning. Otherwise, we're looking at mostly sunny skies, and temperatures really skyrocket tomorrow afternoon. 89 in Long Neck and Lewis, 88 in Salisbury. Somebody's hitting 90, I think, as we go into the afternoon. Not so at the coast with 70s and 80s there, and then increasing clouds as we go into Thursday night. Maybe a stray shower storm Friday, and then the weekend it does go downhill a little bit with showers and storms, I think, as we go into Saturday. And unfortunately, looks like an easterly flow on Sunday keeps us cooler with clouds, and try to keep it dry for Dad the last couple of days. But now it looks like there will be some showers. Don't think it's going to be a washout. I think we will see some of that rain continuing Sunday night and into Monday as well. As far as the muggy meter, we get a break from the humidity today. It's comfortable, but that's short-lived because, I mean, we get to the humid to very humid range end of the week and into the weekend. Then it looks like it becomes a little more comfortable into early next week. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast. 84 today, beautiful. 89 Thursday, mid-80s Friday. Maybe a stray storm, but a better chance of scattered showers and storms Saturday, 82. And for Dad on Sunday, maybe have a plan B. Go out to brunch or something indoors. Clouds, some showers, 76. Those showers continue into Monday, 77. Then drying out Tuesday, some sunshine, and 78 for the high.
All right, thank you, Bob. We do have some developing news in Sussex County. A Milton man is behind bars after he was accused of repeatedly sexually abusing a child over several years. Lewis police say 50-year-old Kevin Boyer was arrested June 6 following a month-long investigation. He's charged with multiple felonies for alleged abuse that took place between 2016 and 2021. It's when the victim was between 7 and 12 years old. Boyer was committed to the Delaware Department of Correction in default of over $240,000 bail.
Happening now in Worcester County, the closure of north and southbound lanes that began at midnight on Route 113 is supposed to have reopened about an hour ago. This is in the area of Bishopville Road and Kepler Lane to allow for the movement of oversized natural gas tanks. The upcoming closures are Friday, June 13th, Monday the 16th, Wednesday, and June 18th. Maryland Department of Transportation State Highway Administration officials say they expect the roadway to reopen by 5 o'clock each morning.
Maryland State Police are helping families stay safe online. It's a campaign called Operation Safe Online Summer. The State Police Technical Crimes Unit says children and seniors, they're the most vulnerable to online threats. Tips for parents include monitoring your child's device, knowing who they talk to, and controlling app downloads. For senior citizens, they are encouraged to avoid sharing personal information and beware of suspicious emails or tech support scams.
The time is now 6:52, and we are going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
Say hello to Moo, everybody, on your screen. Moo wants to say hello to you. Moo is 15 years old and has been loved by his family since he was a kitten.
Aww.
Moo is very loving and sits with his family every night to watch TV.
I love that.
I know. Moo was submitted to us by Carol and Jay in Lewis.
My dogs like to watch TV too, and we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
You can scan that QR code at the top center there. That gets your friends to us at Coast TV News, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
55, and it's time for the things you need to know before you go. A controversial bill has cleared a hurdle in Delaware's General Assembly. We're talking about Senate Bill 159. It passed in the Senate with all long party line votes, all 15 Democrats voting for it, 5 Republicans voted against. One GOP Senator, Gerald Hawker, was absent. The bill would overturn Sussex County's denial of a permit of U.S. Wind to build an electric substation near Millsboro. The passage comes after roughly 2 hours of back and forth between Republican and Democratic lawmakers. This proposal now heads to the Delaware House for consideration.
Later this morning, we're expecting an update on Fenwick Island's work on a nature preserve. It's one of the few pieces of undeveloped land left in the town. Town's environmental committee is scheduled to go over this at their morning meeting. It was back in April that committee member Deborah Cowell asked town council to pay nearly $2,000 for a landscape plan and rendering, and the hope here is to have a dedication ceremony at the preserve this fall.
The time is now 6:56, and we're going to take another look at your Wednesday forecast before you head out the door.
Yeah, let's have ourselves a nice Wednesday.
Absolutely.
I know, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this unsettled weather. We've seen a cold front slide through this morning. Drier air is building in. Still seeing some lingering fog around Salisbury, but note the visibility has come up to 7 miles now. So I think this will be gone here in the next hour or so. Drier air as a west-northwest breeze kicks in. Lots of sunshine, gorgeous conditions this afternoon. Mid-80s inland areas, 70s and 80s at the coast. Enjoy. Paul Davis 10-day forecast, flirting with 90 on Thursday. I'm going 89, but somebody will hit 90, I'm sure. Mostly sunny. Mid-80s Friday, maybe a stray storm, a better chance of storms into the weekend. I know, a bad streak of bad weather weekends, but more storms Saturday, 82. And for Dad on Sunday, maybe have an indoor plan. Clouds, showers, 76. Some of that rain lingers into Monday. And then warms up by the middle of next week. Maybe another rain chance, but pretty toasty by Thursday and a high of 87.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for Coast TV Midday at 11.
For more news and coverage you can count on, stick with us with Coast TV News Midday at 11. Until then, have a great Wednesday, everybody.